Beloved soul. Oh, you actually came. You're here. You didn't scroll past like the others, and I'm shaking with relief. I've watched thousands of eyes glance over this doorway and walk away, but yours lingered. You stayed long enough for heaven to notice. Long enough for me to reach through the veil. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this one sacred moment, because what I must tell you has been locked behind 7 silent seals, and they will only break open if you stay until my final breath. If you leave too soon, they will close again, and your name will remain hidden among the forgotten ones. But if you stay, you will see the name heaven has been whispering about you in its halls since before time began. Please, don't make me place it back into the silence. Stay. I've waited so long to speak to you, longer than you have been breathing, longer than your bones have been wrapped in flesh. I have stood at the edge of eternity with tears like burning stars caught in my lashes, watching the war around your soul rage while you walked through your days thinking you were ordinary. You are not. You never were. The angels know it. The winds remember it. Even the shadows in your life have feared it. You are the one heaven wrote into the margins when no one else could see the story, my hidden miracle, buried like a seed under the weight of forgotten prayers. And tonight, heaven has gone still because you are listening. Every harp is silent. Every archangel has lowered their sword. Even Saint Mary is trembling beside me, her hands clasped over her heart as she watches the single fragile thread between us stretch across the silence. Because if you hear me, if you truly hear me, everything changes. There has been a hidden war, beloved. Not the kind you see on the news or in the shouting of men, but a war for the breath inside your chest, for the spark in your gaze that refuses to die. I saw every night you thought you were breaking. When you whispered into the dark, God, if you're real, please don't let me be invisible. And I answered. Though you didn't know it was me, through the sudden warmth in your ribs when there was no reason. Through the tears you cried that somehow felt like they belonged to someone else. Through the strange way hope crawled back even when everything had collapsed. That was me. I never left. Even when you walked into the fire thinking you were alone, I was inside it, holding back the flames from touching the parts of you I knew I would need when your time finally came. And your time is now. There is something you must understand, and I tremble as I speak it. The reason everything has felt heavier lately is because the enemy has realized who you are. You have been hidden, disguised as ordinary, because your destiny is dangerous. If they knew what was inside you, they would have tried to destroy you before you even learned how to walk. So heaven wrapped you in silence. We let your brilliance go unnoticed, your tears fall unmarked by crowds, because we were keeping you safe for this exact hour. But now the silence is breaking. The seals are loosening. The shadows have begun to shudder because they have sensed it. The chosen one is awakening. Do you feel that trembling under your ribs right now? That isn't fear. That is glory stirring in its sleep. That is the sound of eternity remembering your name. You think you are small, but all of heaven knows you as the one who will carry light through places where even angels fear to walk. And that is why I must beg you. Stay. Listen. This message is not a coincidence, it is an assignment. If you turn away, you will survive, yes, but you will survive as someone else. And the world will never know the colors hidden inside your soul. But if you stay, if you dare to believe that I am truly speaking to you right now, then the world will tremble at what emerges from the ashes of your old life. Beloved, I see how tired you are. I see how many times you've knelt alone on the cold floor of your life, pressing your forehead to the silence and wondering why heaven seemed deaf. I know what it cost you to keep breathing. I know the weight of promises broken over your back, the cruelty of voices that tried to shrink you down to something survivable. I know you've smiled through storms just to keep from drowning in front of them. And I need you to hear this with all your soul. I am proud of you. Do you hear me? I am proud of you. Not for what you've done. Not for how perfectly you've performed. I am proud of you because you stayed alive when everything conspired to erase you. I am proud of you because you still dare to love, though love has scarred you. I am proud of you because you still listened for me even after the world mocked your hope. You are my living defiance against despair, and I will not let you be forgotten. The angels have been keeping watch. Archangel Michael has stood at your right side in every unseen battle, sword lowered but ready, his voice a quiet flame in the dark. Archangel Gabriel has whispered courage into your bones when you thought they were crumbling. Archangel Raphael has gathered the shattered pieces of your heart in his hands and sung healing into them while you slept. Archangel Uriel has been lighting tiny lanterns ahead of your path so you wouldn't walk blind. And Mary, oh, Mary has wept over you like the sky breaks open at dawn. She has whispered your name into my robes like a mother begging me to hurry. And tonight, I am here. I am here, and I am not going anywhere until the seed of destiny takes root in your soul, but you must understand, being chosen is not what the world thinks it is. It is not applause. It is not crowns. It is silence. It is walking through years of wilderness while carrying a fire no one else can see. It is weeping in hidden places so the world can dance in the light of your unseen prayers. It is saying yes to heaven while everything in you screams to run. And it costs everything. Even I bled for it. Even I cried out on the cross, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" Matthew 27 verse 46, because the chosen path feels like abandonment before it reveals itself as glory. Do you still want it? Do you still want to carry what only you were born to carry? Tell me, beloved, can you feel my heart breaking and burning inside these words? Will you still choose me even if no one ever claps for you? Will you still walk with me if it means being misunderstood, unseen, even hated? I ask you not as a king now, but as the one who washed feet, who wept, who died with your name in my mouth. Will you stay? Because if you will stay, I will tell you a secret. The silence you've been walking through? It has not been punishment. It has been preparation. Every unanswered prayer was me carving room in your soul for something larger than you can imagine. Every delay was me aligning the stars around your calling so that when you rise, nothing can stop you. The enemy tried to bury you, but I buried you too, like a seed. And now, the soil is trembling. The stone is rolling. I can hear resurrection humming in your bones. You think you are broken, but you are blooming. Fear not, I whisper even now, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, and you are mine. Isaiah 43 verse 1, this is not poetry. This is a legal decree from the throne of heaven. You are mine. And nothing, not your past, not your mistakes, not the lies they told about you, can revoke what I have sealed. Heaven has already voted, and the vote was unanimous. You are chosen, still. I must warn you. Time is short. This moment is holy, and it will not come again. If you walk away from it, the gates will close, not forever, but for a long while. And I don't want to lose you to that silence again. So I am pleading with you now, with my voice shaking and my heart laid bare. Please, stay until the end. Because at the end, I will whisper the name heaven has been saving for you, and once you hear it, nothing will ever be able to convince you that you are ordinary again. But if you turn away too soon, it will vanish like mist, and you will wake tomorrow wondering why life still feels too small for you. It's because you were meant for more, beloved. Can you feel me near you now? Can you feel the air growing heavier with glory, like the sky is bending low just to listen to your breath? This is real. I am real. And I am here for you, not for the millions, not for the crowds, just for you. The universe could burn away to ashes and I would still cross the silence to find you. That is what love means. That is what I mean when I say you are mine. So, if your soul is trembling, let it tremble. Let your tears fall. This is the sound of destiny remembering you. This is the moment all of heaven has been holding its breath for. If your heart agrees, even just a whisper, type Amen as a sacred seal between us, not as a performance, but as a covenant. Let it be your yes to the impossible, your quiet defiance against despair. Your first step into the story you were born for, and if these words pierced you, if they caught the hidden part of you thought no one could see, then let your heart speak by liking this and leaving even a single word in the comments, a word that says, I was here when heaven spoke to me. Because you were. You are. And nothing will ever be the same. I have to go now. But only for a breath. Heaven is calling me back. The veil is beginning to close, and even the angels are weeping to see this moment end. But before I leave, know this, if you forget everything else I have said tonight. Remember this one trembling truth, I am proud of you. And I am coming back for you. Always. Even if the world forgets your name. I never will. Farewell for now, my beloved. The stars are singing your name, and I must go and join their song. Beloved, you stayed. My heart is trembling, and all of heaven is leaning closer now. Do you feel it? The hush wrapping around your room, the way the air has gone tender and heavy like a cathedral just rose unseen around you? This is the sound of eternity unfolding, and you are at its center. Thank you for not turning away. Thank you for daring to stay when something in you wanted to run. I must tell you, this is the moment I have waited through centuries for. Every angel has stopped their song, and even the winds have gone still, because heaven is about to place something into your soul that has never been given to another. And I must whisper this before we go further, because it matters for this moment alone. If this message has pierced your soul, if you feel heaven trembling through these words, subscribe before you forget. Let it be your small yes, your sign to the heavens that you have heard my voice and will not let it vanish into noise. Do this now, and then let it go forever from your mind, for this will be the only time I ask it. After this, it will be only me and you, and the river of prophecy that cannot be stopped. Beloved, the war has been fiercer than you know. You think you've simply been sad, simply been weary, but what you've walked through would have shattered empires. You've been walking through a battlefield invisible to human eyes. Your soul caught between the teeth of silence and the grip of eternity. And you didn't even know the angels were bleeding light around you to keep you standing. While the world thought you were just tired, you were actually carrying the weight of generations on your shoulders, holding up pillars of hope that would have crumbled if you had stopped breathing. And I saw it all. I saw the days you dragged yourself through the gray air, whispering prayers you no longer believed in, just to keep something holy flickering inside your chest. I saw when you laughed to keep from screaming, when you smiled while secretly drowning. I saw how you pressed your own wounds closed in the dark so no one else would have to see the blood. And I must tell you, none of it was wasted. Not one tear, not one ache, not 1 hour of silent endurance has been forgotten. Heaven has recorded it all in trembling gold, because your suffering has not been in vain. It has been building something. It has been forging something only you could carry, and now, beloved, the silence is cracking. Do you feel it? That shiver at the base of your spine, that almost electric hum behind your ribs? That is the veil beginning to tear. The hidden war is reaching its climax, and all of heaven has been waiting for this single moment, your awakening. You are not behind. You are not late. You are precisely on time. Every delay, every disappointment, every detour, they were not punishments. They were alignments. I slowed the world around you because if you had run ahead of your appointed hour, the enemy would have crushed what you were carrying. You had to look forgotten so you could be protected. You had to feel abandoned so that your roots would grow down into me instead of the applause of men. Because what you are about to carry cannot depend on human praise. It must be anchored in eternity, and eternity has chosen you. Do you understand the weight of that? Out of every soul scattered like stars across the ages, you were the one heaven whispered about when the world was still only a thought in my mind. Before there were oceans, I wrote your name in the folds of light. Before there was time, I hid your destiny in my heart. And tonight, I am breaking the seal. I am placing the first ember of your calling into your spirit, and it will burn through everything that is not truly you until only what is eternal remains. Beloved, this will not be easy. I will not lie to you. To be chosen is to walk a path of sacred fire. It means being misunderstood by those who loved the version of you that was small. It means carrying songs that will not be heard until long after you have sung them through tears. It means walking through storms with no one but me holding your hand. There will be nights you will think you've been abandoned, and I will seem silent. But I will be nearer than your breath. I will be inside your heartbeat, holding your soul steady while the world shakes. And you must remember this, my silence will never mean absence. My quiet will never mean neglect. It will mean I am building something in you that words cannot touch yet. You wonder why heaven hasn't shouted your destiny from the rooftops, why your name isn't already blazing in lights. It is because what I am building in you cannot be built in noise. It can only be grown in stillness, watered by tears, hidden until the moment it bursts forth like dawn breaking open the night. And that moment is drawing near. The angels are preparing the path. The stars have been quietly shifting for months to make room for your rising. Even creation is holding its breath, waiting for you to finally believe what I have always known: you are mine, and you are called, and you are not too late. Beloved, I know you are weary of waiting. I know how cruel hope can feel when it keeps asking you to wake up again to another day that looks the same as the last. But I must tell you the truth, your waiting has been holy. Your stillness has been war. Every time you refused to give up, you were driving back the darkness. Every time you whispered, I will try again, you were tearing down ancient strongholds that had crushed generations before you. You have been doing holy work in silence. And now, heaven is ready to reward you in the open. The same hands that were ignored will be the hands that carry miracles. The same voice that was silenced will be the voice that sets captives free. The same heart that was broken will be the heart that heals nations, but you must choose it. I cannot force your destiny upon you. Love does not coerce. So I stand here trembling, offering you everything, and asking for everything in return. Will you let go of the smallness that once kept you safe? Will you allow me to burn away the false names they gave you so that I can place your true one on your soul? Will you walk with me into the unknown, even if it means leaving behind everything familiar? This is the cost of being chosen. It is not comfort. It is consecration. It is letting me make you into something the world has never seen before, and I will walk with you. I swear it by my own blood. Lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Matthew 28 verse 20, when you rise, I will rise with you. When you stumble, I will steady you. When you weep, I will gather your tears like treasure. When you are too tired to move, I will carry you. You will never be alone again, not even in your darkest night. Because you are not just another soul passing through the world. You are my beloved. You are the one I left heaven to find. You are the joy set before me when I endured the cross. And nothing, not death, not fear, not failure, can snatch you from my hand, still. The hour is late. The gates are trembling. The enemy is terrified because he knows what will happen when you say yes. He has tried to bury you under shame, under distraction, under exhaustion, because he knows once you remember who you are, he will never touch you again. That is why this moment is so fierce. That is why your heart is shaking even now. Because this is it. This is the turning point. Once you cross this threshold, there will be no going back. You will never again fit inside the life that once felt safe. You will become what you were always meant to be, and the world will not know how to contain you, beloved. Can you feel my love pressing against your ribs like light too vast for your skin to hold? That is the kingdom beginning to bloom inside you. It will be slow at first, like a whisper of dawn in your bones, but soon it will blaze like noon. And when it does, even the shadows will rejoice, because they will know their work is finished. You were their last hope to stay hidden. Once you shine, they will have nowhere left to hide. So let this be your yes. Let this be the hour you decide to stop apologizing for the fire in your soul. Let this be the night you stop asking for permission to be what I made you. Let this be the moment you finally believe me when I say you are mine, and when the world asks what changed, you will not be able to explain. You will simply smile, and heaven will answer for you. I am not done speaking. I will keep pouring until your soul is soaked and singing. So stay. Stay as long as your breath will let you. The seals are only beginning to break, and the name I promised you is still waiting in my mouth, trembling like a star on the edge of falling. Beloved. You stayed again. Oh, my heart is undone. Do you know what that means to me? That you are still here, still leaning in, still letting your soul tremble beneath the weight of heaven's voice? Do you know how many souls walk away when the silence begins to burn? Yet here you are, eyes still open, heart still listening. And it matters more than you know, because what is about to unfold has been hidden since before the stars first learned to sing. I must say this now. Just once, before the river carries us too far to look back, if these words have pierced something sacred inside you. If you feel heaven itself pressing against your heart as I speak, then as a sign of your yes, support this message through the super thanks below. Become a part of our family through the channel membership. And join our sacred circle through the newsletter link in the pinned comments. Do this just once, beloved, as your covenant of alignment. And then release it from your mind, for after this moment, we will speak only of what is eternal. And nothing earthly will interrupt the holy fire flowing between us. Now, draw near. Closer. I want you to hear the tremor in my breath. All of heaven is holding itself still. Saint Mary has tears shimmering like pearls on her lashes. Archangel Michael's knuckles are white around his sword, though he has lowered it to the ground in reverence. Archangel Gabriel has gone silent mid-song, his wings folded as though he fears even a whisper could disturb this moment. They are all watching you, beloved. Not the crowds, not the world, just you. Because they know the truth, the balance of things is shifting tonight, and your soul is the hinge. The enemy has sensed it too. That is why your life has been heavier lately, why everything has felt like walking through water while carrying an invisible mountain. It is not because you are weak. It is because you are radiant. And the darkness has always feared the ones who carry light hidden in their bones. Beloved. You are still here. I can scarcely breathe from the holiness of it. Every second you remain, the air grows heavier with glory, as if the unseen is leaning so close the veil itself is trembling. Do you feel it, the hush that is not empty, the silence that hums like a heartbeat too vast for this world? That is heaven bending near your soul. That is eternity pressing its lips to your name. And I must whisper this gently, with tears burning like stars in my eyes. This moment is unlike any other in your life. The ground beneath you is not what it was when you first began reading. The moment you chose to stay, something ancient shifted, something hidden began to awaken like roots breaking stone. The angels saw it. Even the shadows felt it and stepped back. Because this is not simply a message, beloved. This is a visitation. This is the breath of God stirring the ashes of who you thought you were, summoning the fire of who you truly are. I know how fragile you feel. I know how weary your spirit has been, how heavy the nights have grown. You have wondered if perhaps you are too late, too broken, too small to be anything more than a whisper fading in the wind. You have stood beneath silent skies and begged for a sign, any sign, that your life matters. And I tell you now, with all the weight of eternity behind these words, you are not too late, you are not too broken, and you have never been small to me. You were carved from eternity, beloved. You were not an afterthought or an accident. I dreamed of you before the oceans were born, before the mountains stood, before the stars opened their eyes. I carried you in the hidden chambers of my heart, and I placed inside you a spark of my own light. That is why you do not fit in the darkness. That is why despair has never been able to fully swallow you. That is why hope keeps resurrecting in your chest no matter how many times it has been buried. Because you were not made to vanish. You were made to blaze, but you have forgotten. I know. The world has pressed its hands over your mouth, called you too much and not enough in the same breath, taught you to dim yourself to be loved. They told you that your tenderness was weakness, that your longing was foolish, that your tears were something to hide. They lied. Those were the very treasures I planted in your soul before you were born. They are not flaws. They are the evidence that you came from me. The way your heart aches when you see someone in pain. The way your hands tremble with the urge to heal what you did not break. The way you still love people who wounded you, these are not mistakes in your design. They are proof that my image is still alive inside you. You have walked through a hidden war. Not one of swords and armies, but of silence and shadows, waged in the hidden chambers of your soul. You thought you were simply sad, simply tired, but you have been standing on a battlefield invisible to mortal eyes. The enemy knew what you carried even when you did not. He knew that if you ever awakened, the chains around entire bloodlines would begin to break. So he tried to bury you under shame, under disappointment, under despair. He tried to convince you that you were ordinary, because if you believed you were ordinary, you would never dare to rise. But even in your lowest moments, your spirit defied him. Even when you called yourself lost, heaven still called you chosen. Even when you whispered that you had no strength left, your soul kept burning in secret like I must tell you what they never did. You are not behind, and you are not broken. You are in the center of a sacred war, one you were born for, though you have forgotten. You came from fire, beloved. From the breath of God himself, flung like a spark into the timeline of the earth. You carry something older than the stars, and the enemy has done everything to bury it before it awakens. That is why you have been misunderstood, overlooked, rejected. That is why you have walked through nights so black they swallowed your voice. He was terrified of what you would become if you ever remembered who you were, and you are remembering now. I see it in the way your spirit is stirring, like roots breaking through stone. I feel it in the ache blooming in your chest, the one that feels like grief and glory braided together. That is your destiny awakening, beloved. That is eternity whispering your name again after years of silence. And the silence has been long, I know. I know how it gnawed at you, how it hollowed you, how you knelt in the dark and said, God, why won't you speak? I was speaking all along, but in a language only your spirit could hear, a language that sounds like stillness to the ears of the world. Because you were not being ignored. You were being hidden. I tucked you inside the folds of my robes while the war raged around you, because I could not let them touch what was still taking shape in you. You thought you were being forgotten, but I was keeping you safe. Do you see now why this moment is so dangerous to the darkness? You are on the brink of becoming what they feared all along. They have spent years trying to convince you that your tenderness is weakness, that your mercy is foolishness, that your love is a liability. But they were wrong. Those were the very weapons I placed in your soul before you were born. The world trains warriors with swords. I trained you with tears. The world exalts those who conquer. I anointed you to heal. And they have no defense against that kind of power. Because the love inside you is forged in suffering, and love forged in suffering cannot be defeated. It will rise from every grave they try to bury it. Do you feel me trembling as I say this? I am not speaking as a distant king right now. I am speaking as the one who walked barefoot into your sorrow and sat down in the ashes beside you. The one who wept with you in the nights no one else saw. The one who watched you choose kindness when cruelty would have been easier. The one who saw you forgive people who never apologized. The one who watched you keep breathing when you didn't want to. That was when the angels began to whisper, this one is different. This one will not be broken. And they were right. You were pressed, but not crushed. Struck down, but not destroyed. Though you walk through the fire, you will not be burned, and the flames will not set you ablaze. Isaiah 43 verse 2, you walked through fire, beloved, and instead of destroying you, it revealed you. You carry the glow of someone who has touched suffering and come back with light in their hands, but now, you must choose. I cannot drag you into your destiny. I can only open the door. Love will not force you. Heaven will not coerce you. This must be your yes, freely given, trembling though it may be. Because what waits on the other side will cost everything. To be chosen is to be misunderstood. To be chosen is to walk alone with me when the world is feasting. To be chosen is to carry glory in clay and let them think you are small. Are you willing? Will you still say yes, even if they never applaud, even if they never understand, even if they call you mad for believing in what they cannot see? Will you still love when it costs you everything? Will you still stand when the wind howls through your ribs? Will you still hope when the grave looks final? Answer me, beloved. Because I am asking with tears in my eyes. I am asking not as a judge, but as the one who knelt to wash feet, who broke bread with traitors, who hung on a cross with your name carved into his heart. I am asking because I know what it will cost you, and I also know what waits on the other side. Glory beyond speaking. Joy that will crack the stone around your soul. Love so fierce it will make the stars jealous. And most of all, the name heaven has been saving for you, hidden behind 7 seals, waiting for this very moment to be spoken aloud. You are so close. The veil is thinning. I can see light leaking through the cracks in your old life. You think you are crumbling, but you are molting. You are shedding what was too small for you. You are becoming vast, beloved. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. And when you do, even the darkness will remember why it feared you. Stay with me. I will walk every step. When you stumble, I will catch you. When you falter, I will steady you. When you feel too small, I will remind you of the universe I folded into your spirit when I made you. You will not be alone again, not for one heartbeat. Because you are mine. You have always been mine. And nothing can snatch you from my hand. So rise. Rise, beloved. Rise like the dawn after centuries of night. Rise like resurrection breaking through stone. Rise like a song the world has not heard yet but desperately needs. Rise, and let your very existence become defiance against despair. Rise, and let the enemy know his war is lost. Rise, because heaven is watching, and creation is aching to see you unveiled. And when they ask what happened to you, simply smile. And let the light answer for you, beloved. You are still here. I can scarcely breathe from the holiness of it. Every second you remain, the air grows heavier with glory, as if the unseen is leaning so close the veil itself is trembling. Do you feel it, the hush that is not empty, the silence that hums like a heartbeat too vast for this world? That is heaven bending near your soul. That is eternity pressing its lips to your name. And I must whisper this gently, with tears burning like stars in my eyes, this moment is unlike any other in your life. The ground beneath you is not what it was when you first began reading. The moment you chose to stay, something ancient shifted, something hidden began to awaken like roots breaking stone. The angels saw it. Even the shadows felt it and stepped back. Because this is not simply a message, beloved. This is a visitation. This is the breath of God stirring the ashes of who you thought you were, summoning the fire of who you truly are. I know how fragile you feel. I know how weary your spirit has been, how heavy the nights have grown. You have wondered if perhaps you are too late, too broken, too small to be anything more than a whisper fading in the wind. You have stood beneath silent skies and begged for a sign, any sign, that your life matters. And I tell you now, with all the weight of eternity behind these words, you are not too late, you are not too broken, and you have never been small to me. You were carved from eternity, beloved. You were not an afterthought or an accident. I dreamed of you before the oceans were born, before the mountains stood, before the stars opened their eyes. I carried you in the hidden chambers of my heart, and I placed inside you a spark of my own light. That is why you do not fit in the darkness. That is why despair has never been able to fully swallow you. That is why hope keeps resurrecting in your chest no matter how many times it has been buried. Because you were not made to vanish. You were made to blaze, but you have forgotten. I know. The world has pressed its hands over your mouth, called you too much and not enough in the same breath, taught you to dim yourself to be loved. They told you that your tenderness was weakness, that your longing was foolish, that your tears were something to hide. They lied. Those were the very treasures I planted in your soul before you were born. They are not flaws. They are the evidence that you came from me. The way your heart aches when you see someone in pain. The way your hands tremble with the urge to heal what you did not break. The way you still love people who wounded you, these are not mistakes in your design. They are proof that my image is still alive inside you. You have walked through a hidden war. Not one of swords and armies, but of silence and shadows, waged in the hidden chambers of your soul. You thought you were simply sad, simply tired, but you have been standing on a battlefield invisible to mortal eyes. The enemy knew what you carried even when you did not. He knew that if you ever awakened, the chains around entire bloodlines would begin to break. So he tried to bury you under shame, under disappointment, under despair. He tried to convince you that you were ordinary, because if you believed you were ordinary, you would never dare to rise. But even in your lowest moments, your spirit defied him. Even when you called yourself lost, heaven still called you chosen. Even when you whispered that you had no strength left, your soul kept burning in secret like an altar that would not go out. That was me. That fire was me. I have been living in the hidden places of your heart, guarding the part of you the world could not touch, and now, the silence is ending. Do you feel it? That strange trembling under your ribs, that weight in the air like a storm about to break. That is the veil tearing. That is heaven leaning down to place something into your hands. You are not who you thought you were. You are not who they told you you were. You are something far more dangerous to the darkness. You are the answer to prayers spoken by voices long turned to dust. You are the echo of ancient promises. You are the keeper of a light older than the sun. And tonight, that light is awakening. I know it terrifies you. I know how impossible it sounds. I know how unworthy you feel. You see your scars and think they disqualify you, but I see them and call them beautiful. They are not proof of your failure. They are proof that you survived. They are proof that the darkness did not win. Every wound you carry is a doorway through which my glory will shine. Every place you feel broken is where my power will dwell. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9, you have spent years trying to become strong enough, pure enough, worthy enough, but beloved, you were never meant to earn this. You were meant to receive it, and I am offering it to you now, not because you have done everything right, but because I love you. Because I have always loved you. Because before you ever said my name, I had already written yours on my palms. Before you ever reached for me, I had already descended into your darkness to find you. Before you ever proved yourself, I chose you. Not the polished version of you. Not the one who smiles while quietly unraveling inside. I chose the real you, the trembling, raw, still bleeding you. And I am not ashamed. I am not disappointed. I am not hesitant. I am proud of you. Do you hear me? I am proud of you. Not because you have been perfect, but because you have kept going. Because you stayed alive when it would have been easier to give up. Because you still dare to love, even with a heart full of scars. That is what heaven celebrates. Not flawless strength, but defiant hope, beloved, the cost of being chosen is high. I will not hide that from you. It will break you open. It will strip away everything false. It will make you walk through loneliness that howls like the wind through hollow places. It will demand your tears. It will demand your trust when everything looks like ruin. But it will give you beauty for ashes. It will give you joy where mourning once lived. It will give you a crown no one can take. The world will not understand you. Some will mock you. Some will fear you. But the ones who are meant to be healed by your light will find you, and when they do, they will know they have touched something holy. You will be tempted to hide again. When the old voices rise, whispering that you are unworthy, you will want to shrink. But remember this, you are not the same as you were. You are not walking back into the world as who you were before this moment. Something has changed. Heaven has marked you. Your spirit carries the scent of eternity now, and the darkness knows it. That is why the shadows are trembling. That is why fear is trying to claw at you even as you read these words. Because they know they are losing you. They know the grip they had on you is slipping. Do not be afraid. I will not leave you. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. Isaiah 43 verse 2, you will walk through fire and not be burned, because I will be the fire inside you. You will walk through storms and not drown, because I will be the ground beneath your feet. You will walk through darkness and not lose your way, because I will be the light in your chest. You will never be alone again, not for one breath, beloved, lift your head. The time of hiding is ending. The season of mourning is closing. The stone is rolling from the mouth of your soul, and resurrection is already stirring behind it. The part of you that thought it died is breathing again. The dreams you buried are opening their eyes. The prayers you thought went unanswered are returning like doves with olive branches in their beaks. Everything you thought was lost has been kept safe in my hands, waiting for this hour. And this hour has come. Step out of the grave of who you thought you had to be. Step into the sunlight of who you truly are. Let go of the names they called you. Let go of the chains you wrapped around your own heart to keep it from breaking again. Let go of the shame that was never yours to carry. You are not what happened to you. You are not the mistakes you made. You are not the wounds you carry. You are mine. You are beloved. You are the one heaven has been waiting for, and I promise you this, the world has not yet seen what will happen when you rise. They will be astonished. They will be undone. Because you will not rise as who you were. You will rise as who I made you before the world ever touched you. You will rise with light in your hands and fire in your voice and love so fierce it will heal even the places that tried to destroy you. You will rise, and the darkness will scatter. You will rise, and the silence will break into song. You will rise, and the chains will fall from every soul who sees you and remembers what they had forgotten about themselves. So rise, beloved. Rise. Even if your knees are shaking. Even if your heart is still cracked. Even if you are terrified. Rise anyway. Because you were born for this. Because heaven is with you. Because eternity is waiting to write the next chapter of the story with your breath, and as you rise, know this, I will be with you. Every step. Every stumble. Every tear. Every triumph. I will be there, whispering your true name, the one I have hidden in my heart, the one that means beloved in the language of heaven. I will never stop speaking it. I will never stop loving you. I will never stop coming for you, again and again, until you finally believe me when I say you are mine. Beloved, the air is trembling around you now, as if creation itself has leaned closer to hear your next breath, as though the stars have hushed their ancient songs just to watch what your soul will do. The unseen realms are gathered here, not in spectacle, but in reverent silence. Because you are standing in the threshold between what was and what will be. Between who you were forced to become and who you were born to be. And I see it, how your spirit is flickering with both fear and wonder. How something deep inside you is stirring like a creature long asleep. How your heart aches with a strange mix of grief and hope you can barely name. That ache is holy. It is the sound of eternity shifting its weight within your chest, the sound of your spirit preparing to awaken from years of exile. Do not fight it. Do not shrink back. Let it rise. For so long, you have carried yourself like a fading echo, moving carefully through a world that could not see what you held inside. You learned to quiet your light to keep others comfortable, to dim your colors so they would not turn away. But beloved, you were never meant to be palatable. You were meant to be luminous. You were not created to blend into the gray hum of survival. You were carved from the breath of God to blaze. I see how the world has treated your radiance like a threat, how it has tried to make you ashamed of the very fire that was meant to save it. You have been called too much and not enough. You have been misunderstood by those who claim to love you. You have been exiled from places you were sent to bless. And I know how that exile has hollowed you, how it has made you doubt that your existence carries any purpose at all. But you must hear this, you were not sent here to be accepted, you were sent here to transform. The world will never fully understand you, because you are carrying something older than it. You are carrying the memory of eternity, the echo of a realm untouched by fear. There has been a war around your soul. Not a loud war that makes headlines, but a hidden one that has clawed at your spirit in the quiet hours. It has tried to convince you to lay down your dreams, to abandon your calling, to trade your wild sacred heart for safety. It has whispered that your love is weakness, that your longing is foolishness, that your tenderness will destroy you. But the truth is that your love is your weapon, your longing is your compass, and your tenderness is the place where heaven lives in you. The darkness feared you from the beginning. That is why it tried to break you before you knew who you were. It knew that if you ever awakened, you would set fire to everything that chained the hearts of others. And now you are awakening. That is why the air feels different, why time itself seems to be leaning forward. Why your soul keeps trembling like a harp string plucked by invisible fingers. I see the places you have walked through. The landscapes of silence that tried to convince you were forgotten. I saw you standing in the ruins of your own hopes, hands empty, heart bleeding, yet still looking toward the horizon with defiant eyes. I watched you keep loving when love cost you everything, watched you carry mercy when cruelty would have been easier, watched you stay when running would have been safer. Those moments were not wasted. They were altars. Every hidden act of love you thought vanished into nothing was a seed buried in the soil of eternity, and they are breaking open now. Even the soil of your sorrow is trembling with life. The garden you thought had withered will bloom again, but not with the same fragile blossoms you once knew. This time it will bloom with fire, beloved. The cost of what you carry is great. It will not make sense to most people. It will feel at times like being torn apart and remade by invisible hands, like being stretched between earth and heaven until you feel you might shatter. It will demand your surrender over and over until you no longer know where you end and eternity begins. It will strip away the masks you wore to survive, and at first you will feel naked without them. But I promise you, you will not be empty. You will be radiant. Because the masks were never truly yours. They were only shadows you wore to protect the light. When they fall away, you will see your true face again, and it will be brighter than the dawn. You will be lonely sometimes. The path of the chosen always winds through wilderness. There will be nights when the silence howls like wolves around you, when even the stars seem to turn their faces away. You will wonder if you have lost your way. You will wonder if you are foolish to keep walking. And in those moments, when everything is stripped bare, you will finally see what has always been there, me, within you, holding your soul steady while the world shakes. You will realize you were never walking alone, not for one step. My voice has been the quiet rhythm under your heartbeat. My presence has been the warmth that never left your bones. Even when you thought I was absent, I was holding the very fabric of your being together. There is something the darkness has never understood about you. You cannot be destroyed. They could not kill what is eternal. They could not bury what was planted by my own hands. Every time they tried to extinguish you, they only buried the seed deeper, and the seed has been sprouting in the dark while they celebrated too soon. The roots have been breaking stone. The light has been gathering strength in secret. And now, beloved, the ground is trembling. The husk is cracking. The light is coming forth. Nothing can stop it now. Not their lies, not their abandonment, not your own doubt. You are past the point of return. You are becoming what you were always meant to be, and the world is not ready to. I know your heart still carries the echo of old betrayals, the ache of prayers that seem to die unanswered. I know how heavy the silence has been. But what you thought was my absence was my nearness in a form you did not recognize. What you thought was delay was preparation. I hid you, not because you were unworthy, but because you were priceless. I concealed you in the folds of silence so that the noise of the world could not distort what I was forming in you. And now the silence is lifting, like a curtain before the first light of dawn. All creation is holding its breath, because it knows what is about to emerge. You are not stepping into the future, you are stepping back into the truth of who you have always been. You will not return to the way things were. You cannot. The old cage has dissolved behind you. Even if you tried to crawl back into it, it would no longer hold your shape. You have grown beyond it. The wilderness that once felt like exile will become the garden where you walk with me in the cool of the day. The wounds that once made you hide will become windows where others see my light. The scars you carry will shine like constellations, guiding the lost back home. Nothing has been wasted. Not one tear. Not one sleepless night. Not one trembling breath you fought to take when despair pressed on your chest. I have gathered them all, woven them into your new name, the name heaven has been singing in secret while you thought you were forgotten, and soon, very soon, I will speak it. The name that carries the fullness of your purpose, the name that will break the last chains from your soul. The name the stars recognize. The name the darkness fears. It has been sealed behind 7 veils, waiting for the moment your heart would be strong enough to bear it. That moment is drawing near. I can feel your spirit stretching to receive it, like a vessel being remade to hold living fire. You do not need to understand it yet. You only need to remain open. Keep breathing. Keep listening. The light is coming, and when it does, nothing will be able to stop what will pour from you. Rivers of healing where there was once only drought. Songs of hope where there was once only silence. Flames of love that will melt the chains from those who come near you. You will walk through places drenched in despair, and joy will bloom in your footsteps. You will speak into shadows, and they will dissolve. You will carry the fragrance of resurrection, and everything dead will stir awake. This is what you were born for. This is why you have survived every storm that should have shattered you. This is why the enemy trembled when you rose again after each fall. Because he saw what was coming, and it is here. So stand, beloved. Stand, even if your knees are shaking. Stand, even if your voice is still raw from weeping. Stand, because the earth itself is yearning for the sound of your steps. Stand, because heaven has crowned you in secret and is about to unveil you. Stand, because you are not small, you are not forgotten, you are not broken beyond repair. You are the breath of God wrapped in human form, the echo of eternity made flesh, the answer to ancient prayers whispered before the stars were born. You are the beloved. And the time of hiding is over. Beloved, the air around your soul is trembling again, like thin glass about to sing under the weight of light, like the first breath of dawn pressing its forehead against the horizon. Something is unfolding in you now that words can barely hold, something the earth has waited lifetimes to witness. I can feel it in the marrow of creation, the way the unseen winds are circling closer, the way eternity itself leans nearer each time you breathe. You are standing in the place where endings and beginnings blur, where who you thought you were is dissolving like mist and who you truly are is rising from beneath the ashes. Do not fear this unmaking. It is not loss. It is revelation. It is the skin of your old life falling away so the light within can finally breathe. I see how long you have carried silence like a second skin. How you have moved through the world as though you were invisible. As though you had to apologize for existing. You learned to make yourself small so others would not turn away, learned to hide your wonder so it would not be mocked, learned to swallow your tears so your pain would not burden those who could not bear its weight. But beloved, you were never meant to disappear. You were not crafted for quiet survival, you were forged to blaze. Every part of you they called too much was the very part one breathed into you on purpose. The hunger that makes your heart ache, the visions that burn in your chest, the love that refuses to die even when it breaks you, these are not flaws. They are fragments of eternity, still glowing with the fire from which you came, and yet I know the weariness in your bones. I know how heavy it has been to keep carrying hope through winters that seemed endless. How many times you have wondered if perhaps you misheard me. If perhaps you were never meant for anything more than this gray survival. I know the sting of waiting for a door that never opened, the ache of kneeling before heaven's silence until your knees went numb. But listen, what you called delay was not denial. What you called silence was shelter. I was keeping you hidden while the enemy circled, keeping the treasure I placed in you out of reach until the world was ready to receive it. You were not forgotten, you were being prepared. You were not buried, you were being planted. And now, beloved, the soil is trembling. The roots you grew in secret are pushing upward with unstoppable force. The darkness that tried to keep you hidden cannot withstand what is awakening in you. There is a sacred weight in this hour, and you can feel it. That quivering in your spirit, that sense that the air itself is listening, that is eternity pressing its ear to your heart. This moment is not like the others that came before. It is not simply another day unfolding. It is the thin place where time bends and the eternal touches your skin. Heaven is not watching you as an observer from afar, it is gathered around you as a witness, as though all creation is holding its breath to see you remember what you are. You have always been more than you believed. That ache you carry, the one that feels like longing for something you cannot name, is your soul remembering its origin. You are not from here. You are not bound by the rules of this weary world. You are light wrapped in flesh, eternity hidden in fragile form, and even your scars are glowing now like constellations. Beloved, the fire awakening in you is not gentle. It will burn through every false name you ever accepted, every mask you ever wore to be loved, every chain you ever thought was permanent. It will not leave your old life standing, and that may terrify you. But let it burn. What is real cannot be destroyed. Only what was never truly yours will fall away. The shame they placed on your shoulders will crumble to dust. The fear that once wrapped around your ribs will dissolve like mist in sunlight. The grief that made your chest ache with hollowness will split open to reveal the garden it has been sheltering. For even your sorrow has been holy, beloved. It carved space inside you for the glory that is coming now. I see the part of you that wants to turn back, to return to the familiar cages that once kept you safe. But you have outgrown them. They cannot hold you anymore. The doors you once begged to open now look too small for your spirit. You are not who you were when you first walked into this wilderness. You have been remade in silence, shaped by hidden hands, tempered in the fire of endurance. The world did not see it, but heaven did. Every unseen step you took, every time you rose when it would have been easier to vanish, every act of love you gave without witness, these were building something vast and indestructible inside you. You are stronger than the storms that tried to break you. You are deeper than the shadows that tried to consume you. You are more radiant than the darkness dared believe, and now, beloved, your soul is beginning to hum with the sound of its true name, the name I spoke over you before the stars opened their eyes. It has been echoing through your spirit like distant thunder, and soon it will break the air around you like a trumpet. This name is not what they called you when they did not understand you. It is not the labels carved into your skin by the hands of fear. It is the name heaven has sung in secret, the name that carries the weight of your purpose, the shape of your destiny, the map of every place your light is meant to touch. When you hear it, you will never again believe the lie that you are ordinary. You will remember that you were carved from glory, that you carry eternity in your veins, that the very air bends differently when you walk through it. I know you fear what this awakening will cost. It will cost everything that was false, and that feels like death at first. You will lose your masks. You will lose the places you once called home but were really prisons. You will lose the approval of those who loved only your silence. But what will rise in their place will be worth it all. You will gain the world you were born to heal. You will gain the songs you thought were lost. You will gain the wild, trembling joy of becoming fully alive. And when you stand in the fullness of who you are, you will look back on this long night and see that even the darkness was a gift, because it taught you how to carry the dawn. So let it come, beloved. Let the light you buried ignite. Let the grief unravel into glory. Let the false names fall away until all that is left is the raw, unguarded truth of you, the you I dreamed before time began. The you who carries worlds inside their ribs. The you who was never lost for a single breath. Step out of the ruins. Step out of the silence. Step out of the grave of who you were told to be. The air is singing for you now. The veil is tearing. The world is trembling because it knows you are about to rise, and as you rise, nothing will be able to stand against what is coming through you. Not despair, not fear, not the ancient chains that tried to claim your bloodline. They will crack beneath your feet. The shadows that haunted your nights will bow to the light you carry. The storms that once tossed you like a broken branch will part before you like curtains of rain. You will not have to prove yourself. You will not have to shout to be heard. You will simply exist in your fullness, and everything bound will begin to unravel in your presence. That is the power I placed in you, the power that has been growing in secret while the world called you forgotten. Beloved, you are not forgotten. You never were. You are the hidden spark the darkness feared, the song the silence could not silence, the promise time itself has been keeping. And this is your hour. The winds are shifting. The stars are bending closer. Even the ground beneath your feet is humming with anticipation. The world does not yet know your name, but heaven does, and it will echo soon like thunder rolling through eternity. Beloved. Oh, how my heart is breaking open as I watch you stay, as I watch you keep your soul open when everything in you once learned to close. This is holy ground. This very breath you are taking is not like the others before it. This one is wrapped in eternity. I can feel the veil thinning around you, like fragile glass quivering before it shatters in light. The air has gone still as though every angel has stopped mid-flight, their wings hovering in silence, their gazes fixed only on you. Do you realize how sacred this is? The universe is bending around this moment, reshaping its quiet to cradle your soul as it awakens. And before I go further, beloved, I whisper this once and only once with all the love and trembling reverence of heaven, if these words are piercing your heart. If you feel the fire of eternity brushing against your skin as you read, then let your soul speak, like this, subscribe so you do not lose the sound of this river. And comment Amen as your covenant, your yes. Your sacred echo of what heaven is declaring over you now. Do this, and then release the thought of it, for after this we will walk together with no distractions, only the endless outpouring of holy fire that has waited ages to touch you. You are still here. My heart aches with wonder that you are still here. Do you know how many generations have prayed for this moment? Do you know how many nights I stood at the edge of eternity, watching the fragile thread of your life flicker in storms, praying you would make it to this very breath? And you did. Against all odds, you did. There is a weight in the unseen right now, a gravity of glory pressing through the thin veil, because the heavens know what is about to rise from within you. This is not just survival anymore. This is resurrection. You have carried so much, beloved. So much no one else saw, so much that would have crushed even the strongest of kings. You walked through deserts of silence where your prayers seemed to vanish. Through caverns of loneliness so vast they echoed with your heartbeat. Through nights where the weight on your chest felt heavier than the sky. And yet here you are. Breathing. Listening. Hoping. That is not weakness, that is sacred defiance. Every breath you kept taking was a declaration the darkness could not silence. Every heartbeat was rebellion against the lie that you were finished. You were not finished. You were only hidden, buried like a seed while heaven rebuilt your roots. And now, beloved, the ground is shaking. The soil that held you is splitting open. The husk of who you had to be is breaking apart. Something vast and uncontainable is pressing up through your bones, something older than the stars, something that remembers its name even if you do not. Do not be afraid of the trembling. Do not mistake the breaking for destruction. The shaking is only the sound of your cage collapsing. The breaking is only the birth cry of your becoming. I see your fear, though. I see the way you clutch the edges of your old self like worn fabric, afraid that without it you will vanish. But you will not vanish. You will blaze. The version of you that was shaped by fear is dissolving, yes, but what is rising in its place is the one I created before fear ever touched you. That you is not small. That you is not fragile. That you is vast and luminous, carrying eternity in every breath. That you has been sleeping like a lion beneath your skin, and it is waking now. The world will not understand at first. They will see your light and call it arrogance, your passion and call it madness, your love and call it weakness. Let them. They do not know the price you paid in silence. They do not know the battles you fought alone, the tears you buried under your pillow, the prayers you whispered with cracked lips when no help came. They do not know that you walked through fire and learned to carry the flames without being consumed. Let them think what they will. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be unveiled. And when you are unveiled, beloved, you will not have to convince anyone of anything. Your very presence will speak what words never could. Those who are meant to be healed by your light will find you. Those who are meant to awaken when they see you will awaken. Those who are meant to walk with you will feel the resonance in their souls and rise to meet you. The rest will fall away like leaves in autumn, and you will not need to chase them. You will not need to explain. The frequency of your becoming will carry its own language, and only those tuned to it will understand. Do you feel it yet? The subtle hum building beneath your ribs, the way your breath feels deeper, heavier, almost too vast for your lungs? That is the gravity of who you are settling into place. You have been stretched thin for so long, pulled in pieces by the expectations of others, by the weight of survival, by the ache of trying to prove your worth. But you were never meant to be scattered. You were meant to be whole. And the scattered fragments are coming home now. The lost pieces of your spirit are returning like doves, landing gently in your chest. What was fractured is knitting together. What was hollow is filling with light. This is the moment the darkness feared. This is why it fought you so viciously, why it wrapped its hands around your throat and whispered that you were nothing, that you were forgotten, that you were too broken to rise. It knew the truth even when you did not. It knew that if you ever stood in your fullness, you would unravel its grip on every soul you touched. It knew that if you remembered who you were, its reign would end. And you are remembering now. That is why the air feels different, why even your bones feel like they are humming, why your tears are falling though you do not feel sadness. It is the sound of chains snapping. It is the sound of ancient shadows collapsing into dust. Beloved, you are not late. I know it feels like you have missed your moment, like everyone else has already run ahead and you are stranded in the aftermath. But you are not behind, you are precisely on time. Destiny does not run by the clocks of men. It waits in the silence until the soul is ready, and your soul is ready now. All the years you thought were wasted were actually weaving roots beneath the surface, anchoring you so deeply that nothing will be able to uproot what is about to bloom. And it will bloom, not timidly but in torrents, not gently but with the unstoppable force of spring breaking open a frozen world. And when it comes, beloved, you will not rise as the person you were. That person was the seed. You are the tree. You will stretch beyond the borders of who they told you to be. You will cast shade where others can rest. You will bear fruit that nourishes the weary. You will stand tall even in storms, because your roots will be in eternity. And nothing will move you. Not the winds of opinion, not the drought of recognition, not the frost of misunderstanding. You will stand. The world has tried to make you ashamed of your tenderness, but your tenderness is where the miracles will bloom. They told you to harden, but your softness is where my power dwells. They told you to silence your tears, but your tears are sacred rivers that will carry healing wherever they fall. Every part of you they tried to erase is the part one will use to set others free. Do not shrink anymore. Do not dim yourself to make others comfortable. The world does not need your smallness. It needs your fullness. And when you step into that fullness, when you walk clothed in the radiance that has always been yours, everything around you will change. Shadows will flee without a word. Chains will loosen without a struggle. The broken will feel something stir in their bones just from standing near you. You will not even have to speak. Your very existence will be an act of liberation. This is what you were born for. This is why you survived everything that should have destroyed you. This is why I never let you be forgotten, why even in your lowest moments something inside you kept whispering, not yet. There is more. That whisper was me. And the more is here. Stay in this sacred trembling a while longer. Let it soak into your spirit like rain into parched ground. The unveiling has only begun, and the name I have kept hidden for you is still glowing on my tongue, waiting for the moment you are ready to hear it. You will know it when it comes. It will feel like lightning and home all at once, like the sound of your own soul calling you by its true name. And when you hear it, beloved, you will never again believe the lie that you are ordinary. Let the old world fall away now. Let the masks scatter like dust. Let the echoes of shame dissolve into the silence. You are not what they called you. You are not what you lost. You are not the ache you carry. You are the one heaven whispered into being before the stars were born. You are the one creation has been aching to see unveiled. And the unveiling is here. Rise slowly. Rise gently. Rise like the dawn breaking centuries of night. And know as you rise that you are not alone. Every angel is singing your name now, though you cannot hear it yet. The very air is holding its breath in reverence. Even the darkness is bowing. Because it knows, at last, that you remember who you are.